The bad weather that forced the triathlon to be delayed last year was nowhere to be seen, as shorts and sun cream were the order of the day. The turnout for this year's event surpassed the one held in January. 14 individual men and 8 individual women entered, up from 3 and 2 respectively earlier this year, as well as 8 relay teams. In the adult category, competitors had to swim 750 metres before completing a 20-kilometre bike ride and a 10k run. The men's event was won by Craig Alexander of Mount Pleasant, who finished in a total time of 1 hour and 35 minutes, finishing faster in all 3 categories than any other individual competitor. Second place was claimed by Matt Aston, with fixed PE teacher Rob Howard taking third. In the women's event, things were much tighter at the top of the leaderboard. Roj Cheek, Claire Young and Amanda Kupfer were exchanging places all the way until the end, with Roz taking first place. Claire Young finished second, and Amanda's faster running time wasn't enough to climb higher than third. Traditionally, swimming in a triathlon, especially in a place like this, would take place in a harbour, but locally, organisers decided against the idea.
Because it's hard enough as it is. Don't make it harder. No, someone else asked that actually, but the water temperature would make it quite tricky. Also, it would be just logistically quite tricky. I'm using that word a lot, aren't I? But it would be difficult to do that. And the other thing is, the whole point of running this triathlon or organising a triathlon was to get people that don't normally do this kind of thing out there. You'd have the same 3 or 4 people if you did it as a swim out there who've got wetsuits and no one else, and it wouldn't be inclusive for the community.
Flying the inclusivity flag was portfolio holder for sport MLA Stacey Bragger, who kept to his word and tackled the event as an individual, though he found some parts easier than others.
Yeah, like the running was always the part that I was most worried about. The swimming I thought I was doing okay, I'd do okay in, and I did fairly well in the swim. And the bike ride down to Figas was, fine. I thought, oh, this is going wonderfully. And then as soon as you turn around and you got the wind coming at you, it was really tough. And then as soon as I came down Sap Hill and dropped my bike off, my legs were jelly, so that final run was more walking than running, but no, got there in the end, but no, brilliant day.
In the relay event, the combination of Leslie Cook, David Fife and Tim Ross took the fastest time of the day, beating Mark Nightingale, Alex Blake and Brendan Lee by less than 4 minutes. The podium was completed by Kirsty Lewis, Simon Fenton and Charlotte Mumford in 1 hour and 48 minutes. FITV's Katie Beattie got the chance to show off her stuff as she completed the 10k run as part of a relay team, and we caught up with her just after she crossed the line.
Yeah, so on the way out, the wind was really, really blowing into our faces coming out. So you do 5k on the way out, and then unfortunately the last sort of kilometre onto that first half is all uphill. So sort of struggling up there, but then you turn around and there's just this relief because the wind's on your back and you're coming down the hill and all the way. It really felt like the home straight, and I think that's where I made up the majority of my time on the way back. The fastest I've done in training is an hour and 1 minute, and that was 57 minutes today. So a PB, which I'm pleased with.
It wasn't all about the adults, of course, as the future of sport in the form of the FIX and IGS pupils tackled a slightly smaller but ever so blustery course than the adults. Sole individual competitor last time out, Hamish McKee was joined by Marco B in completing all 3 events. Marco finished 20 minutes behind Hamish in 1 hour and 23 minutes, and Hamish's individual time was the second fastest of the junior class. In the team events, fixed trio Ella, Jake and Flora took first place again in a very impressive time of 57 minutes, and their IJS counterparts Oscar, Hayden and James, battling the elements, finished in 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Particularly what I want to mention is the amount of junior teams. So there were 9 junior teams, 2 individual juniors, which doubles last year, but 9 individual teams. So that means 27 plus the 2 individuals, 29 children took part, which is absolutely amazing, especially for a sport that's in the Island Games as well. So we might have a future in triathlon here.